Hey everybody, this is Todd, host and creator of the Todd Napper Talk Show. I want to take a moment and kind of introduce you to the people that you're going to be seeing in this video today. A few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to sit down with my grandparents, James and Linda Pixler, and kind of talk with them a little bit about their life. These people have been very influential in my life. Obviously, they're my grandparents, so I've been around them quite a bit. I grew up around them, and I learned how much they truly do mean to me. I don't have words to say how much they mean to be honest with you. They've been so influential in my life, teaching me so many things, and I know that they've been very influential in other people's lives as well. So I had the opportunity to sit down with them and talk to them, and got to hear their story a little bit about their life and how they met, how they were raised around the church, and how they even got into church themselves. You'll see all of that in the video. A lot of people know them, but I don't think very many people know actually their story. So I thought it'd be great for me to share this with everybody and to share it with everyone around. And if you know them, comment on the video. Tell me how you know them, and tell me what they mean to you. I'd love to hear from people around to talk about this great couple and these great people. They've been in ministry for a very long time, and I know they've touched a lot of people. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy me and my conversation with James and Linda Pixler, aka Granny and Pawpaw. So, first off, like I said with Pawpaw, I want to thank y'all both for doing this. Main reason for doing this is to kind of get your story in. You don't have to look at the camera or anything like that either, so. Oh, okay. We're good. No, it should just forget that's even there.
Okay.
So basically, like I told Paul, the main reason why I want to do this is to make sure that everybody gets the stories, and we get to keep it for a lifetime, and pass it on to your great grandchildren, and even some grandchildren and stuff too as well. So first, we'll start with you, and the main thing is I kind of want to know our history, and as far as on your side of the family, how long did you grow up in church? What is your earliest memory of church?
My earliest memory of church, I was probably around 6 years old at my uncle's church in Denison. It was my dad's, my uncle, his name was Leonard Brown. It was my dad's, one of his sisters' husband. Okay, my mother was not raised in Pentecost at all. And I don't know how old my dad was when he actually met my uncle. We called him Uncle Brownie. He actually met him, and he's the one that taught him and led him into. Daddy played in the old Rush Arbors. He played the guitar and sang, and so did my mom's dad, even though they didn't go to church. But anyway, Daddy played and sang, and I think that may be where he might have met Mama there, I'm not sure. But anyway, my uncle, before he started his church, started going to a Brother Graves church in Denison. And my dad started going there with my uncle. And there was a little problem there, so over trusting the Lord for healing and stuff. And so my uncle split from Brother Graves and started his own church in Denison. And that was my earliest remembrance of church, was I was around 6 years old. We moved from there and we came to Arlington. My next memory, whatever, would have been the Combs' church in Arlington. I was probably around, 8 or so, I guess, maybe when we started going there. We left there. My sister, oldest sister, was very good friends with their daughter, Glenda.
And that's Ginger, right?
Mm-hmm. No, Della.
Della.
That'd be Della.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Ginger was
that'd be Della. Yeah, she, her and Glenda were real good friends. Della played the piano and stuff, and then we went from there. We moved over to Fort Worth and started going to Brother Johnson's church. Okay, I must have been maybe 10, I guess, because Della was 13 when we came to the Johnson's church, and she became the church pianist. Sister Blackstock was before that, and she gladly turned over to Della. And so I was probably about 10. And I became very good friends with Sandy Johnson. We became best of friends. And we stayed there until I married when I was 19 years old. And then we started having Abby out. We were probably there about 7 years. Back to Brother Johnson's until the year 1980. When we actually started the church on Johnson White. So I guess you could basically say I was raised in church from about age 6 on.
Okay. And what age did you actually receive orders?
Actually, I was about 13. I was praying one night, and when I got to praying, we were all at the front of Brother Johnson's church, and I just actually, when the power of God hit me, I danced all the way across the front of the church and all the way back. But when I got through praying, they all looked at me because they just knew I got the Holy Ghost, and they said, I said no.
Really?
That's what I told them. I said no. But then not long, because we had prayer rooms on it. It was a small, it was called Twin Oaks Gospel Mission. And it was just a small church, and on the inside of the platform, on each side was rooms. And on the right side was the ladies' prayer room. So one night I was in there praying because the girls would always go to the prayer room. And so I was praying, and I knew then that I would go to the first.
Okay.
And so, but being a kid, which was no excuse, we kind of got this in and out, in and out, in and out kind of a thing. Right? We shouldn't have done, but we did. And I remember Brother Johnson one night called me up to the front. He said, "Linda, is I hear that you're out of church?" Of course, we got this out of church thing.
Even though you're still sitting on the pew.
Yeah, and never really did anything. We might sneak and listen to a worldly song.
Right.
That's about the extent of what we did. But anyway, he thought, "You're not out of church." "Yeah, I'm out of church." You know? It's almost like a kind of a proud thing. "Oh, yeah, I'm out of church," and doing nothing without church. Anyway, he said, "No, you're not out of church." He said, "Don't be saying that." So anyway, I remember Brother Huffines one night. Me and Sandy were sitting together, and we had these compacts. They had like hard powder in them and a little mirror. So we had fuel chemicals on our face. So we were sitting there, and we were just putting it on our face. And the Huffines walked by us. He said, "What are you girls doing?" We said, "Oh, the only reason we're doing this is because we have pimples." And I'll never forget the answer he gave us, which we put them things up and never did it again, until later probably. But anyway, he said, "Well, I guess if that's really why you're doing it." And so he walked off. We were like, "Oh my goodness," he could have slapped us and wouldn't have got us any worse. But he said, "Well, I guess if that's really why you're doing it."
Right.
And so, like I say, we put them things up, and we probably used them again, but we didn't right then. But anyway, like I say, then when I got married, I actually was not in church.
Okay, so that's where I was confused, because
Yeah.
I actually thought that, and that I talked to other people about that, and I thought that you were in church, but he was not.
Yeah. No.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
So that's something new that I didn't know.
Yeah, I was not. And so we married, and of course moved to this former marriage story. But anyway,
well, we'll get to that part in a second, I guess.
Okay.
So going back to the church part, or once you moved to California, I guess we'll put a pause on that one and then go to Pawpaw.
Okay.
With Pawpaw, how long? Because you never were really in church until later, but you did grow up in church, right?
Same way as she was.
Okay.
In and out.
Right.
And, right through, backslide, right
Sure.
through, backslide. But anyway, that's what we called it back then.
Right.
And, but I was born, my daddy was already a pastor
Okay.
when I was born.
And was
1944.
well, no, that was where was he pastoring?
Weisenberger.
Weisenberger. Okay, that's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, Weisenberger Church. Actually, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Grandma Porter,
Okay.
which was half Indian or full-blood Indian, I'm not sure which. She got the Holy Ghost back in probably the early 1900s, might have been even in 1800, I don't know. But anyway, my granddad and was a boy, and then later on he got pretty wild doing things he shouldn't do.
Right.
Alcoholic, and then he started drinking and doing all that. Matter of fact, there was this little story, I don't know whether you can tell that or not, but he was known as a alcoholic, and Cleveland was a dry county, or Johnson County was dry county, Cleveland was Johnson County, and the sheriff took his whiskey away from him.
Okay.
His brew, home brew.
Yeah.
He took it away from him, and he took it back and turned him upside down in the outdoor toilet.
The sheriff?
Yeah. And so he was, he was pretty rowdy at that time. But later on, he was got in church. There wasn't a Oneness Jesus Name Church in Cleveland.
Right.
And so he went to Assembly of God Church. And while he was going there, he got the Holy Ghost. It was on a Sunday morning. And he said, I've heard him tell it a lot of times. He said, I was sitting there in Sunday school, listening to a lesson. He said, I raised my head and say, praise the Lord. Started speaking in tongues. And that's how he got the Holy Ghost.
And this is your grandfather?
This is my mother's daddy, Granddaddy Porter.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Now, the other side, I'll get to here in a little bit, but mother's side, that was what it was.
Okay.
And then him and Brother Pack started in Fort Worth on a street over close to where Weisenberger Church was at, but they started the church on Greenleaf Street. And then they were under a tent, and when they started the church, and so Mother and Aunt Cat both had the Holy Ghost, and Perry Pack and my daddy got together, and they was going to try to make time with Mother and Aunt Cat.
Okay.
Well, they went to church for just to be with them,
Sure.
and they got under conviction. And they were fixing to close service out. They didn't have an altar call. And Perry said, hey, his dad was Perry, Brother Pack was his dad. He hollered and he said, hey, Dad, said, are y'all gonna have an altar call? He said, me and Edmund want to pray. So they got in there and got to praying. Daddy told a story a lot of times about how he would reach, he was praying, and get to praying, and a big old sack of bull darn would go stand up in front of him.
Okay, so something that confused me about that was it just a mental image of it in his mind, or was it something that actually fell out on the altar?
No.
Okay, so
it's a mental image popped up in his mind.
That's something that always confused me. So
sack of bull darn.
Okay, which is a tobacco, right?
It was tobacco, what they smoked back then.
Okay.
They didn't have Winstons and
Right.
Camels and all that back then. They rolled their own.
Okay.
Anyway, he reached in his pocket and threw that bull darn. He said he didn't know where it went, and got the Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
And so then him and Mother married.
Okay.
And then they started building the church on Weisenberger Street. Granddaddy Porter was a pastor, and Brother Cosby was he built block buildings
Okay.
with 8-out blocks. And so they built that building with 8-out blocks, and then built a roof on top of it, out of wood and all that.
Sure.
And so that church was being built when I was born,
Okay.
or in that same area. I was 1944, and then in 1949 we had a flood that flooded that whole area, church, turned the top of it sideways.
Is that the flood that went up like 5 stories on
Right.
the Montgomery Plaza?
On Montgomery Ward, yeah. And the building is still there, Montgomery Ward. And so then they, I remember shifting it back. I can vaguely remember I was 4 years old.
Right.
And I could vaguely remember them working on the church and bringing it back. Then we had revivals and all that. Then Daddy, Grandpa Pixler, was a Church of God or Assembly of God preacher. I don't know which.
Okay.
But he held revivals all over the place. But then he wasn't, he didn't take care of his family hardly at all.
Right.
I ain't gonna talk about that. Anyway, he would, when Daddy was 12 years old, there's a place near Jacksonville, Texas, that he's taken me to, and I've taken Steve and Tim both there, called Dark Corner. And it was a graveyard and a old church building.
I think I went there with y'all.
You probably did. And anyway, yeah, it's still there. That church is still there.
It's out on the other side, like Stephenville.
No, Jacksonville.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did get to go with y'all.
Okay. Well, when Daddy was 12 years old, Grandpa held a revival there. Then later on, after Daddy got in church, which they believed in Jesus' name baptism,
Right.
and Daddy and Granddaddy Porter and all them, he wouldn't be baptized in that other church because they wouldn't baptize him in Jesus' name. So
Right.
he was baptized later on by a preacher here in Fort Worth. But anyway, they and Grandpa and they would have discussions, and they would. I mean, all of them would get together. Back then, all churches fellowship with one another most of the time.
Right.
And they would get together and they'd have discussions about the Bible. And Grandpa Pixler said, "I'll never be baptized in Jesus' name." And he said, "Edmund," told Daddy, he said, "you can come to this house anytime you want to, but you leave that Jesus name baptism away from here. I don't want it." And it was just probably about 2 or 3 months later that Grandpa come to Daddy and he said, "Edmund, baptize me in Jesus' name." So that's how that all happened. Then Grandpa Pixler was preaching around different places, and Granddaddy Porter, he traveled all over the country preaching.
Okay.
And then I had the Holy Ghost when I was a kid, in and out.
Right.
And so
When did you first receive it?
I don't remember.
Okay.
It's been it was so long ago now.
Sure.
I don't remember what age I was. I just know it happened,
Right. Right.
And then I'd get to, when I was about 15, 16 years old, I prayed one time and spoke in tongues, and I got to listening to worldly music. I got condemned and I quit.
Right.
Yeah, you know how that is.
Right.
How people have been years past.
Hey everybody, it's Todd, host and creator of the Todd Napper Talk Show. I wanted to thank you so much for watching my video today. I really do hope you enjoyed it. It's my goal and it's my dream to encourage people with every video that I make. Hey, that's why I do them, To see more videos like this, you can check me out on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Just check out the Todd Napper Talk Show and you'll find me there. Once again, thank you so much. If you like what you've seen, like my page, share it with your friends. Let's reach some people with this page and help somebody and encourage someone. Let's do this thing together. We're all in this together. Once again, thank you so much and have a great day.